Hi, I'm Sabrina Troback, owner and operator of Troback Holistic Counseling. I'm a registered clinical counselor and also the author of the book Not Good Enough: Understanding Your Core Beliefs and Anxiety. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Throughout my videos, we are going to be exploring different areas of mental health from the perspective of the model of therapy that I practice. It was developed by a man named Tony Martins, who lives in southern British Columbia, Canada. At the base or at the core of this model of therapy is what we call our core belief, what we believe about ourselves. That core belief is not good enough, not important, not valued, or good enough, important, and valued. Nobody has 100% core belief, not good enough, not important, not valued, or 100% good enough, important, and valued. There are varying degrees that these core beliefs can happen. For people who've had a lot of past trauma, who have anxiety, who have lack of confidence or self-doubt, often that core belief, not good enough, not important, not valued, is going to be more significant than their core belief, good enough, important, and valued. Thoughts like, why bother? Nobody cares. I sacrifice for everyone else and no one even notices. What's the point? No matter what I do, it's never good enough. These thoughts all reinforce that core belief, not good enough, not important, not valued. This model of therapy believes that we are constantly trying to prove to ourselves that what we believe about ourselves is true. So if my core belief is not good enough, not important, not valued, I am going to be drawn to people, experiences, thoughts, actions, and behaviors that reinforce and support that core belief. If my core belief is good enough, important, and valued, I am going to be drawn to people, experiences, thoughts, and behaviors that reinforce and support that core belief. Many people come to counseling for a variety of different reasons: anxiety, anger, depression, addictions, lying, cheating, stealing, lack of communication, problems in their relationships, past trauma. What we say is these are all the symptoms. There's something that's feeding these beliefs. What we need to do is look at what's fueling them. What we find is underneath these behaviors is often that core belief, not good enough, not important, not valued. For example, if we look at alcohol, the success rate for AA is about 3 to 5%. So the vast majority of people who struggle with alcohol continue to struggle. For those that do stop drinking, a large number of them turn to gambling or anger. So it just switches from one coping strategy to another one that is just as unhealthy. If your core belief is not good enough, not important, not valued, you're going to be drawn to things that support that core belief. Alcohol does that. When we're drinking or drunk, it gives us a bit of a break from that core belief. We don't have to really feel anything. We can just kind of relax and enjoy ourselves. But then often the next day we're hungover. We've said or done things that we regret or we feel embarrassed about. We've spent too much money. We've broken promises to others or to ourselves. So ultimately we end up reinforcing that core belief, not good enough, not important, not valued. Holding in and suppressing emotions is another thing that also feeds that core belief, not good enough, not important, not valued. Many of us grew up learning to suppress and push down our emotions. Over time, it gets harder and harder and harder to hold all these emotions in, because when we suppress them, they stay with us. So they get bigger and bigger and bigger over time. This means that small little things like spilling your milk or forgetting your keys, stubbing your toe, become hard to handle and deal with because we're holding in all of this other emotion. If I'm holding in a bunch of emotion and something small happens, it becomes harder for me to cope with. It reinforces that core belief, not good enough, not important, not valued. So suppressed emotions also reinforce that core belief, not good enough, not important, not valued. Another way to look at this is these symptoms or behaviors like alcohol or anger are the fire. And often what we do is just try to put out the fire. What we need to focus on is, why is the fire burning in the first place? What's fueling it? So rather than just trying to put out the fire, we need to look deeper. What we find underneath the fires is often the core belief, not good enough, not important, not valued, and suppressed emotions. Emotions that we've been holding in for a significant period of time. If we just keep trying to put out the fire, the fuel is going to continue to ignite the fire, and it's going to continue to be an issue long term. We need to put out the fire by challenging that core belief and removing the fuel. If we look at a scenario to go through and explain this, it becomes a little bit more clear. Let's take, for example, your sink is leaking. If your core belief is not good enough, not important, not valued, and your sink is leaking, you're going to be thinking things like, why does this always have to happen to me? I was hoping to have some time off this weekend. Now I have to fix the sink. I always have to take care of these things, and no one appreciates the things that I'm doing. It creates emotion like anxiety, overwhelmed, frustration, resentment, and reinforces that core belief, not good enough, not important, not valued. But if my core belief is good enough, important, and valued, and my sink is leaking, I'll go on YouTube and see if I can find some videos on how to fix and repair the sink. I've got a few friends that may have some ideas on what I can do and how to help me. I have a friend who is good at plumbing, and I will talk to them and see if they can give me some insight or some words of wisdom. I'm going to be grateful that I have some time this weekend to be able to spend some time and get the sink fixed. Now, this might create some anxiety, but not nearly as much as in the first scenario, because bottom line, I feel I can handle it. It may even create feelings like confidence, pride, motivation. In this scenario, the leaky sink is the same in both. What makes it feel very different is that supporting core belief. My core belief, not good enough, not important, not valued, is going to feel very different in dealing with this scenario than in my core belief, good enough, important, and valued. In order to challenge your core belief and continue to grow that core belief, good enough, important, and valued, we need to be aware. Self-aware is really important. Being aware of what we're thinking, what we're believing, how our actions are. One way to help increase this awareness is in every video, I'm going to change something in the background. Your job is to see if you can figure out what is changed or what's different from one video to the next in the background. This increased awareness or ability to observe is going to also allow you to be able to become more aware of what's going on within you. Thank you for watching my video. Stay tuned for the next episode.